All right, so let's talk about sales, right? So first, a little bit about my background for the people who've never heard of me. How many people don't know who the fuck I am? Straight, be proud. Oh my God, that's the right level of humble pie I need to start a talk, right? Nobody gives a shit about you. Nobody knows who you are. That's good. There's still a lot more work to be done. So for you people, let me tell you just a little bit about myself so you know why you should care or listen to me or why you shouldn't. So I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I'm completely unemployable. I have no credentials, no college education, or anything else. So I'm originally from Greece, born and raised in Germany, built multiple businesses there, and all self-funded. I was just about to say bootstrap, but Hiten is kicking my ass every time I say that. Self-funded is the new term. So all self-funded businesses. 8 years ago, I sold everything I had, I bought a one-way ticket, and I moved to Silicon Valley to start my first technology company. And 5 years into that turned into a massive catastrophe, and there's lots of entertaining stories about that, some public that I can share if you're curious. But what I did 3 years ago is we started a business called Elastic Sales. And Elastic Sales, what we did there basically is we offered SaaS businesses, specifically venture-backed SaaS businesses in Silicon Valley, an outsourced sales team on demand. So we would sell on behalf of you to customers and ramp up your sales process for you. We did this for over 200 venture-backed startups, and we became one of the best-kept secrets in Silicon Valley because nobody knew of our existence, but we knew what everyone was doing in the B2B space. And with a lot of companies that you know that became real big SaaS success stories, some little part of that success we had a role in terms of their sales scale and growing and moving really, really fast. So we got a lot of exposure to everything that works and doesn't work and how it works. And from the get-go, from day one, we built an internal little tool called Close.io, a little sales software tool to allow us to do better, close more deals, make more sales, and ultimately avoid the pain of using Salesforce or any other CRM that was out there at the time all day long. So we built a little internal tool. We never intended to release that tool. And we're kind of an interesting case study in the sense that we went from a consulting and outsourcing business, a services business, to a pure software business. The whole thing with us is, though, that we didn't do this on intention. Like there was no strategy where we said we want this sweet SaaS money, we want this scalable stuff. What happens was we built this internal tool, it started to become better and better, and then eventually our salespeople would show our sales software to their salespeople friends and go, ha ha, you can't have this, right? This is only for us. And then we started getting salespeople giving us sales calls trying to sell us on the idea of us selling them our sales software, right? Once that happens, it's a pretty strong signal in the market. And then what happened was that a small group in our team started lobbying for us to release the sales software every single day. I didn't want to do it. I knew that we had an amazing product, and I knew eventually we would release it. But I was so busy running a services business that was growing that I really didn't want to launch another business in parallel. But that's a rule that's always true, which is that the person with the highest level of clarity always wins. And I was not as clear not wanting to launch that this person in the team wanted it to launch. So at breakfast, at lunch, at dinner, at every fucking meeting, every fucking day, the person would be like, when do we release the software? We need to launch the product. When are we launching the product? We need to launch the product. When are we launching the product? Until eventually I went, oh, fuck it. All right, this is a room. You have 4 people, 3 months launching. I don't want to fucking hear anything about it anymore. And he was like, all right. I didn't see him for 3 months, and they released the software. And as an entrepreneur, I've been wrong my entire life about everything. I can't think of one time in my life I wasn't wrong about something. But once in a while, very rarely, I'm really happy I'm wrong, and this was one of these cases. I thought that it would take forever for us to scale up to the revenue level that we had with the services business, and it didn't. Like, Close.io was a pretty big success from the get-go. We're a very profitable business today. And if you're doing inside sales to B2B companies, you want to check out Close.io. Check it out and let me know what you guys think. All right, enough of that. I don't just release sales software and give sales advice. I also launch Baby Boys. So on the left, that's my oldest one. We launched him 2.5 years ago. And then on the left, on the right, from your perspective, it's my youngest one. We launched him 1 year ago. And we launched it was more my wife that was the technical founder here. I had more of a support and business development role in the whole relationship. But those are my bosses. The reason why I do what I do, and I need to show them off whenever I can. All right, so let's first talk a little bit about salespeople, right? So most of you, if you think about like sleazy, douchebaggy salespeople, you think of somebody that looks like me right now. Rob saved me. I had one more button up. I didn't realize. I did the whole like, the whole douchebag look. But the role model that I want you to have when it comes to sales is this guy, right? This is one of my favorite salespeople. And make no mistake, in no room that Patrick ever walks in, people turn around and go, this must be a sales guy, right? Nobody would ever mistake him for that, but he's a fucking sales hustler, right? I fucking love Patrick because he understands a few things, and if you understand these things, you are dangerous when it comes to sales. He understands how to sell based on value, right? He understands how not to fizzle around about features and about pricing and cost. He understands to truly know what the value is he can provide and then refocus the conversation on that. Can I help you fix something? What's the value that represents in your life? Let's talk about that because that completely changes the equation and reframes the conversation completely differently. The other thing he understands is to truly qualify people. This is something engineers really know well, which is to ask questions until you arrive at a level of understanding that needs the minimal amount of interpretation possible, right? So, a salesperson, when they're on the call and somebody goes, well, we need email marketing systems integrated in your tool. Do you have that? The salesperson goes, he said email. Yeah, we do email, right? Or the salesperson will go, well, what would you need to buy our product? And the prospect goes, well, we really need something that does email marketing as part of your CRM sales solution. And the salesperson will hang up and go to the engineering room and go, hey, do we do email marketing? Can we do email marketing? What could we do in email marketing? And then the engineer goes, what do you mean by email marketing? Is it a fucking newsletter, drip email? Is it, what exactly? Email marketing is everything and nothing. Oh, I don't know, I'll call the customer again. Calls the prospect. What exactly did you mean with email marketing? Well, we want to do drip based on what actions people take on our website. Okay, cool, let me check with our engineer if we can do that. I now know what they need. They need drips based on actions people take on our website. What kind of actions? What's the exact thing they need? What are they using today? Why? What kind of technology would they need to integrate? Do they have engineers on the team? Like, I can't give you any answer on that question. It's too generic, which is why engineers are awesome at sales, if they truly understood the power they have. If you know how to ask questions to arrive at truly understanding the prospect, all you have to do at the end of that is decide, can I help this person or not? If the answer is yes, you just have to tell them, based on everything you said, I can fucking help you, and here's how. That's it. That's all the sales education you need to be really, really effective. The problem is most people don't ask the questions. Most people start selling, and they go, we do this, we do this, we do this. They throw darts in the dark, and they hope something will stick. Hopefully, if I say 20 positive things about my product, something is going to be in there that they like. That's a waste of time. That's really bad salesmanship. You can be an amazing salesperson by asking the right questions, qualifying people correctly, and then if you can help them, you tell them. If you can't, you tell them, I can't help you. And that's it. One thing that Patrick learned recently that made it even more dangerous is how to follow up. I'm going to speak about that later on, but that's my religion. That's probably the single highest ROI advice I give. And today, almost daily, there's somebody sending me an email telling me how they closed deal, raised a round, got press, got married because they followed up indefinitely until they got a result, a yes or a no. And Patrick sends me emails once in a while that like, oh shit, Steli, I just closed this deal because I followed up 7 times. And I go, oh my God, that's all. Like, he's my favorite. Whenever I get an email from Patrick, I'm so excited because it's going to be some deal he closed or some fucking awesome stuff he's done. And he's not your atypical salesperson. So you can be really dangerous in sales without fitting the mold of whatever your preconceived notion is what sales really entails. All right, let's get more tactical. So a couple of things. So this is going to be, I'm going to try to share as many tactics when it comes to you, if you're a small team or a single founder, how to build a sales machine. One thing quickly to touch on is that content is not just for marketing. Content is also for sales. If you content right, it could be your invisible salesperson in the cloud. And I was not aware of this myself. I always thought of content as a marketing activity. We do all the marketing we do at Close.io is all content marketing. We out-teach our competitors because we think we know more. We don't think. Let me not try to attempt to be humble. We know more about sales than any other company in our space. So all we do is we try to educate people on sales. The one thing I didn't realize, I thought that's all, that we do that so people know about us, they build a relationship with us, and then they discover our software and they become customers. But one thing that we learned is that a lot of our customers buy our software. They make a buying decision of the software before they know if the software can do everything they want based on the content we give them. So a person will sign up for a trial, they'll get the email course that I have, they'll read a few blog posts, and within the first 2 days, the person will decide, these people really fucking know sales, so I want to really know sales, so I should better buy from them. It really bumps our conversion numbers dramatically up in terms of our trial to customers. And the other thing that's awesome about content is that it compounds. It took me 2 years to figure this out. But just like SaaS revenue, you start and it's fucking nothing. You do it consistently for 2 years, or 20 as some people. And that little shit compounds to a really massive amount of traffic and customers and sales. So think of content as potentially as salespersons. Content that could convince people of buying your software, that you're an expert, that your company is, and your product is really the best tool to help them solve a certain problem. Let's talk a little bit about sales emails, and I know you guys know a shit ton about emails, so I'm going to try to be focused on the things that might have not been covered as much. To me, emails are simple. It's a 3-step process, really a 4th, but whatever. 3 steps. Somebody needs to open that motherfucker, read it, and then respond. That's it. That's how I approach emails. First, I wonder, what do I need to write to make somebody open that email? Now, you know a lot about like subject lines, right? The subject line should not be all caps, should not be read like it's written to, it's not a newsletter or something. If it reads like it comes from a human being to a human being, it's going to get a lot higher open rates. Some hacks here. Sometimes I see people get better open rates when they have a misspelling in the subject line. It's crazy. You do something that's weird or wrong, it seems more human, so people will respond to it with more humanity and open it, right? And the other thing you need to be concerned about is that you can do a lot of hacks to make people open your email, but you then want to deliver what you promised, right? It's again about starting off the relationship on the right foot. So people ask me, what's one of the most effective sales email subject lines you've ever gotten? And I ask, what's effective? What is the definition of effective? Well, you open it immediately. I'm going to tell you, the most effective email in terms of me opening it immediately was a subject line that started, really disappointed. I open my email inbox, there's a fucking 150 emails, and I zoom in instinctively, whoop, really disappointed. I'm the CEO of a business, I'm like, what did we fuck up? What did I fuck up? Like, what the fuck, right? So I instantly opened that with a very high level of intensity and urgency, and the email continues. So it started really disappointed, and then it continues that we weren't able to connect yet. I'll outsource blah, blah, blah. And I go, motherfucker. Jesus, I was like, that's brilliant, awesome, my God, that was a great subject line. Delete. Fuck you, right? If you want to trick me, it's not going to start. Or somebody else had like a re, you know when you do the re, as if this is a reply to an email chain, did the re, and then starts off with like, haha, I used the re, but it's really a trick, but blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, delete, right? I mean, you get me to open, that's not all there is. So, but you want to do things, not capitalized, write like human beings, short is good. Quick question is not deceiving if you really have a question. If you're like, quick question, then your entire fucking email is a pitch, then you're an asshole, right? You promised me something that you didn't deliver. Next thing is, I need to read the shit. So here's the way I think about copy in general, but email copy in specific. Every sentence is a pitch for why I should give a fuck and read more and more sentence in this, right? Now, there's exceptions to this rule. If your email is just 2 sentences, it's harder not to read than to read. Reading your email is less work for me than having the cognitive energy to decide not to read these 5 letters. So when something is short, people will just read it. But in general, if you have a little bit more content, you need to understand that you can't bury the lead. You can't put the most important shit at the bottom. You have to start with it. Every sentence And every sentence at the end, I need to go, and why should I waste one more sentence of my life with this email? And then I need to respond. So you need to have one clear call to action, just one. You guys know this. Don't ask me for 3 things. Don't have a PDF attached, a PowerPoint, 12 links I should click, and a question you have for me. Just don't make me work too hard, right? That's simple stuff. For people that have SaaS products and have people that are in trials, you're not sending people enough email. Here's the deal. Whatever amount of email you send, multiply it by 2 by the end of today, and this conference was fucking worth it. If a certain amount of people don't think you're spamming them, you're not sending enough email. You're not. You're not. Don't optimize your business on not offending anyone on this planet. Like, if I get 3 out of 10 people to love me and I get them successful and 7 out of those 10 to hate me, I'm okay with that. I'd rather have that than have 10 people that are equally indifferent about me and I've made no difference in their lives. This is not a popularity contest. This is about creating value. So send more email. In our trial, people get 7 emails during a 14-day trial, and those emails are all personalized. It's going to be like an account manager that reaches out and says, hey, I'm your account manager. If you have any questions, let's chat. A day later, you get an email from me. Hey, I'm the founder of the business. I want to welcome you if you ever need anything. A few days later, based on what you do or you don't do on our product, you'll get a few emails. 2 days before the trial is over, you'll get an email that asks you if you want an extension, if we should chat. At some point, I'll send you a really long fucking email that tells you the entire history of humanity and parts of it, our story. It's a fucking humongous email, but converts really well for us. We send a ton of email in different formats. And the reason why we do that is because we want to communicate with you. We want to start building a relationship, and we take it as our responsibility to make you engage during the trial. And all we try to do with the emails is get people to respond. We've built a sales machine where we send a shit ton of email, and all we want you to do is respond. The moment you respond, now you're part of our sales funnel. And we'll jump on a call. We'll maybe even not reply to your email if we think it's a big enough opportunity. You respond with 3 questions. Next second, you're getting a phone call from us. And we'll answer those questions on the phone. Send emails always personalized. You guys know that there's some hacks. I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. There used to be a time, and some people do this successfully, where when you do automated emails, you can have a little like send via iPhone or something at the bottom. Again, gets response rates up because it makes it more human, makes it more real. It's a little bit of a gray thing. But that's it. Like most of this shit you guys already know. So cold emails, like for people that don't do SaaS trials, if you want to start cold emailing people that don't already know about your business, there's a book called Predictable Revenue. It's written by a friend of mine, Aaron Ross. Somebody knows it, and gave it 2 thumbs up. And if you really want to do enterprise sales, you should buy this book and read it. Just buy Predictable Revenue and read it. He developed this process where if you really wanted to go up in the enterprise, he would try to find somebody that's a few levels above his buyer. Instead of trying to convince the buyer directly in the enterprise, he would go 2 levels above the buyer, asking for a referral down. So it'd be like, hey, CEO of the business, I'm doing this in 1-sentence thing that's really valuable. Can you point me in the right direction? Who in your organization is the right person to chat briefly about this? And then at 30-40% of the time, if you write that email correctly, the CEO doesn't give a shit, so they'll just forward it to the right person, which will then get you a call. Doesn't mean they'll buy, but you'll know who the right person is, and that person will respond to your call. Much better process, go from the top down versus the bottom up, something worth exploring if you're doing enterprise sales, if you're doing a lot of cold emails. All right, is this right? Oh yeah, so let's talk about follow-ups. This is my favorite thing. Here's winning. 90% of the time when I win, it's because I follow up when nobody else is. I have a simple follow-up philosophy in life. I never, ever, ever stop following up until I get a response. You're my man. Yeah, I don't know. You sit at the right point. Like, I get all the love. That's awesome. Here's the thing. Here's the basic philosophy, right? Most people think that silence equals rejection, and that's wrong. That's simple as that. I'm not a mind reader. If we have a positive interaction, we have a call, we have a meeting, something, and you say, yes, your product looks really good, I really want to test it, or really want to have another call or something, and then you go silent on me, I'm not going to make up a story why that is. I send you 1 email, I don't hear anything. A second, I don't hear anything. A third, I don't hear anything. I'm not then going to go, he really hates me. He thinks I'm ugly. Like, I'm not going to make up stories what's happened, right? I'm just going to keep following up. My assumption is always you got busy. You have another life. I'm not the center of your universe. You got busy. My job is to manage this relationship. It's important to me. It's my responsibility to keep up and keep following up until something happened. And there's many stories from me. We raised a shit ton of money from a billionaire investor, and it took only 48 follow-up emails after he said yes to meeting us to then get the meeting. I got a press article the other day on TechCrunch, and it only took 9 months and 12 emails to different people pitching that article until somebody responded and said, yeah, this is great. I'm like, no shit, it's great. I know. I've been pitching it to you for 9 months, right? There's magic happens when you follow up, because that's where everyone else drops the ball. You're the only person in the race. Like this, the race starts really crowded. Everyone wants to get started and show up and do the first pitch and send the first email and have the first call. Everybody's like, it's so crowded, so competitive. But then after a little while, when it requires a second or third follow-up, you're alone now. You can walk as slowly as fuck. You're going to win. And every day I get some case study. I'm gonna write a specific book just about follow-up. Trust me, this shit works, right? Just keep following up relentlessly, and magic will happen in your life. There's only one thing that kills companies. It's not success or failure. It's not a yes or no that's going to kill you when it's in sales. The thing that's going to kill you is the maybe. It's the I don't know what the fuck is going on with this deal. That's what's fucking companies, careers, lives. That's what I fucking hate. I can deal with a no. You reply and you tell me fuck off, I'll leave you alone. That's a result, right? I can deal with results. But when there's nothing and I have to come up with stories, that's where really bad things happen. And I'm going to give you a hack that speaks against following up endlessly. But it's something, if you want to do follow-up at scale, it might be a tactic that you want to use. Or if you think I'm wrong. It's called the breakup email. So here's what you do, and lots of big companies do this really successfully, is you send a bunch of emails and you don't get any response. And eventually, instead of doing what I say with big important things, investors, large accounts, press, whatever it is that you want to do, what you do is at some point you send a breakup email. The breakup email basically says, hey, I've been trying to get in touch with you for fucking ever. I'm just going to have to assume that you don't care about this. I'm going to take you off my list. I'm going to delete you from my list of people I need to get in touch with. Here's all my contact information. If you ever want to talk about this, I'm excited. Goodbye forever from my side, though. That email is incredibly effective. I'll give you 2 quick examples. This is HubSpot. So I got 4 emails from HubSpot salespeople once I signed up for the trial. The first 4 were all like, hey, I'm your account manager. Hey, how can I help you? The third one was like, hey, I have a discount coupon, and I only have 2, and one is already bullshit, right? Whatever. Like, all kinds of shit. And then I always was like, archive. And then this email that was basically, I'm taking you off my list, I responded to. I was like, no. I'm interested. I just didn't have time, right? And if you email me, Steli at close, I'll give you all my slides and everything else you want, except my children. So the other thing is that this is another company. This is Trunk Club. This is an end consumer product. The exact same fucking thing at the exact same fucking time. First, hey, I'm your stylist. I'm your account manager. Hey, with this discount code, blah, 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 this and that. I don't reply. 4th email is like, goodbye from us. I responded to that email. It's a very, very effective email. You take something away from people, they'll snap into action. Even if it is, you will stop hearing from me. People are like, no, I want to keep hearing from you. All right, the other thing that I want to highlight, so this is about emails. Now let's talk a little bit about you demonstrating your product. If you're in B2B and you have to do sales calls and demos, here's a few things you need to do. Stop wasting everybody's time. Your product demo is a demonstration of value, not of features. It's a sales call, not a training call. I see this all the time, 60-minute demos, where the person goes, hey, I'm now going to show you everything I know about my product. And then they'll go into details that are painful, like, and here's where you can, update some information. Let me do that. And then they'll update the fucking information right in front of you. And then they'll push the button that says update. And they'll say, update. And then the spinny wheelie spins. And they go, and now the information is updated. Really? Really? Do I need to sit here and watch you click the fucking update button? Like, really? Is that what you want to demonstrate? Like, just get to the fucking point. Qualify me. Understand what I care about. What's the problem I have? What is the thing I need? and give it to me. Demonstrate how your product is going to deliver the value or is going to be the solution to my problem, and then stop. Demos need to be 7, 8, 9 minutes, and then you give them a few minutes for questions. That's it. They won't remember anything anyways if you do anything that's longer than 10 minutes demonstrating a product. Don't clickety-click around. Just go, this is the page where you do this. This is the page where you solve this problem, and here's the thing that's going to change your life. Does that sound fair? What's your questions? Right? That's it. Don't go into, and let me go into settings and change the avatar. Like, what the fuck? And I see this consistently. CEOs, people that are very successful, very junior people, everybody thinks it must be 60 minutes of me talking. Don't do that. Also, when something goes wrong, and it always goes wrong, don't be rattled by that shit. You should expect it. Something will go wrong. Here's what we do when things go wrong and we do a product demo. We go, this is the perfect opportunity to show you how to deal with problems, right? So I got an error message in the app, right? What should you do when this happens? You go up and to the right and close down. You click on support chat. You know that chat room goes directly into our engineering room? Let's do that together right now. See, you see that chat room? Hey, engineers, I'm doing a demo with this company, and we just got this error message. How do we fix this? And I demonstrate how to solve the problem versus being like, oh, it's an error message. This never happens. Let me refresh the app. Oh, shit, I just lost my internet. Well, let me call AT&T while you wait and try to Comcast and try to fix this fucking problem. No, you just need to move on with life. Expect it, turn around, embrace the shit that happens, and go, and when shit happens, here's how you deal with it, right? If you're Comcast, Fox, you call us and we'll call them for you. Whatever you want to do. But don't get rattled by that. All right, here's some more advice. How am I doing on time? Can somebody give me some kind of approximation? Okay. Oh, that's great, because I have a great story I want to end, and as much time as I can get for that, the better. All right, so let me finish with a last thought that I think hopefully is useful to some of you guys. And that's how to build a free sales team. Build a massive sales team without hiring anyone or paying anyone anything, right? So that might be interesting for some solo founders. Here's how I want you to think about a virtual sales team. Anyone and everyone you know is now part of your sales team. I am part of your sales team if you're smart enough to make me so. And here's what I mean by that. Like I have two older brothers. My middle brother, when he was 5 years old, came home one day, we had a neighbor, she was there at our place having dinner with us. And our neighbor asked my brother, hey, Nick, do you have a girlfriend yet? And my mom and her were laughing. And you would expect, my brother's pretty shy, but you would expect him to be super that's why she asked him, super turn red in his face and everything. But my brother was like, yeah, just kept eating. And my mom and the neighbor was like, what, really? Really, you have a girlfriend? What's her name? And my brother's like, I have 4. And they're like, our neighbor's like, 4? You have 4 girlfriends? Really? And my mom is like, wait, do they know they're your girlfriends? And my brother's like, no. This is exactly the same deal here. So, your customers can be your extended sales family. They actually have to. They have to. Every person that buys from you could be part of your sales family. They can be your lead generation team. Here's what I mean by that. Ask for referrals. When I close a deal, I'll close the deal and I'll go, all right, now that we got this amazing amount of value that's going to be created on both ends, who else do you know that you like that should know this exists? Here's what happens. 9 out of 10 times, the person will go, I need to think about this. And this is where most people leave it alone. You go, okay, again, back to the old thing. You don't want to be an asshole. You don't want to inconvenience people, but this is business. This is not about being liked. So here's what I do. When somebody tells me I need to think about it, I'm like, I want you to think about it every day, any day, for the rest of your life. But just for right now, one name. Just one person you really like. Come on. One name. Help me out here. And out of the 9 that said no, 4 or 5 will say, all right, this is a name, just because I nudged them one more time. The rest, in a nice or not so nice fashion, will tell me, really, fuck off. I said I need more time. And then I'll back off. I'll say, hey, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't bother you one more time. It's fine. I'm excited about it. Once you get a referral from a customer, you need to get referrals from customers. Once you get it, and it works out, and they become a customer, the moment they become a customer, you need to ask them, who do we have to thank for this shit? Like, who do we have to thank for this deal happening? And they always look at you like, do I have to thank you? No! Who got us in touch in the first place? Bob, right? Oh yeah, cool, can you do me a favor? Let's write Bob a thank you email right now so he knows you and I appreciate it. I'm writing it right now, please do the same. The moment the initial referrer gets 2 emails from both sides saying this was amazing, you know what happens? You get more fucking referrals. Now, you turn this into an engine, a process, something that can help you grow sustainably and repeatably your business versus something you ask, in a shy fashion and then you run away when they cough or something, right? So referrals, get more great leads from your best customers. If you have a customer you don't like, don't get referrals from them, right? They'll give you more of that type of customer. But if you have really successful customers, get more of these kind of referrals from them. Also, when you're trying to close really big deals, use your customers as a virtual salesperson that helps you close the deal at the final stages, not at the beginning. You don't want to burn them out as a resource. But when things are really hard, eventually you want to get in touch with a customer you love and have a great relationship with, and you go, hey, it'd be awesome. I'm trying to close this big company, and I know they totally respect and love you. They appreciate you. They're very aware of your brand and everything you guys have accomplished. It would mean so much if you could send them a quick email, letting them know how your experience was, or asking them, hey, would it be fine for me to put them in touch with you and you just jump on a 5-minute call, tell them how your experience was authentically? You don't tell them to say nice things. You know they're gonna if you choose the right customer. You just tell them, can you make yourself available to help me with this? And if you do that correctly, it's gonna make all the difference in closing really big deals. And the other thing is, if you do it correctly and you don't burn your customers out on this, only do it when you think you can't close the deal if the customer gets a really strong referral. If you do that, the customer will start getting more and more positive reinforcement that they're on a winning team. Every time they talk to a prospect, a week later, you go back to them and you go, hey, they became a customer. When they become a customer, you tell them, hey, you remember when you talked to John, who's a customer of ours? Was that helpful to you? Yeah, if it was helpful, can you send him a quick thank you email? Tell me that you're a customer now too? All of a sudden, they're on team winning. And they're like, yeah, I want to talk to more people about why we're winning with this product, because every time I talk to somebody, they turn to a customer. That's a great feeling. You need to be really resourceful and turn anyone and everyone you know as part of your extended sales family. Now that you know me and you have my email address, anytime you're in negotiation with a big deal, a small deal, or any deal, and you need help or advice or anything else, send me an email. What's the worst thing that can happen? I'll ignore you, right? Purposefully, because I want to see if you follow up. And then you send me another email and I'll go, fuck yeah, because you are the type of people I can't say no to. I say no to so many awesome people, investors every day, no, fuck you. Big partnerships from a big corporation, no, fuck you. But when an entrepreneur is like, I struggle, can I get your time? It's hard to say no because those are my people and I've been that person. So make everyone and anyone part of your extended sales family. All right, here's the story I want to end with. So this is Flavio. Flavio is a really, really good friend of mine. Flavio is originally from Switzerland, computer science grad, entrepreneur. He built a few startups that didn't go anywhere, and then he built one startup in Switzerland that he sold for millions and millions of dollars. He's today what you would call a growth hacker. He's an engineer, he can code, but he's more on the marketing side of things. And the other day he came to a sales workshop I gave, and he was setting up the camera, and I was joking, this is the most overqualified cameraman. He's the only guy in this room who sold a company for millions and millions of dollars. That's how I roll. And at the end of the sales thing, he comes to me and he goes, you know what, I'm really pumped on this sales shit. I should do a sales internship with you. Man, can I be your junior sales guy for a month? I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool idea. Let's sleep over this and see if we're still excited about it tomorrow. So the next day we go, yeah, all right, we'll do this. Sales internship, hustle internship, multimillionaire startup founder is going to fucking intern as a junior sales guy for me. Kind of cool. All right, let's do it. And I really like him. We were really good friends. So he starts his internship. On day 1, he starts making calls, calling new signups for Close.io, welcome them to the trial, qualifying them, doing all that good stuff. And I hear a few of his calls. And do you know when you had an expectation and you trusted somebody deeply, and then your heart is broken, and you know it was the wrong decision? I hear him on the first few calls, and internally I'm dying. Externally I'm like, good job, buddy. Everything. internally, I'm fucking dying. I'm like, oh my God, he's so bad. How can he be so bad at this? Like, I've talked to him before. He is a loud guy and everything. Like, how is he so nervous? And so, he was horrible on day one. 3 days later, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe how good he became. Like, I can't believe how fucking awesome he is on the phone. He had the biggest turnaround from like horrible to amazing in just a few days. It was exceptional. The cool thing is he credits all this to me, so that's good. I have one guy, he's running around telling every founder he knows that he needs to be an intern with our company. But he became really good really fast, right? But here's a really cool example, a story. And what I want to share here is an attitude that you should apply to your lives and to your businesses. So it's day 8 on his hustle internship. He calls new trials. Our trial goes for 14 days. He calls his people. The purpose of the call is to qualify, to help them with answers, figure out why they came to us, what they're looking for, see if there's a real opportunity that we need to focus on, or if they're the wrong type of customer, we need to point them in a different direction. It's all that good early stuff. So he calls a new sign up in the morning, and he qualifies them. He goes through all that question, and he figures out, yeah, I think we would be really the right solution for you guys. Now, oh no, sorry, this is not even a trial. This is somebody who filled out the contact form, right? So we got a contact request about some information about our product, and he calls them to qualify them. They have not signed up for a trial yet. So he calls them, he qualifies them, and at some point they start with objection. Well, but what about this? What about that? And at some point they're like, well, but Salesforce has all these integrations. And he's like, why do you need integrations? What kind of integrations? How do you do things today? Like, yeah, and they're like, yeah, I mean, we're not really using integrations, but eventually we're like 5 salespeople. If we want to scale to 5,000, then we worry about this specific integration. And at some point, he goes, all right, buddy, there's a reason this is not called fuckaround.io, but close.io. If you want to fuck around, go to Salesforce, right? But if you want to close fucking deals, let's move on with life here, and let's not worry about these things. The person on the other line starts laughing, ha, 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 you're so funny, blah, 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 all right, you know everything there is to say, okay, we're going to do it. They hang up. Cool, I heard that line, we all got really entertained in the company chat. We tried to buy fuckaround.io. They didn't sell it to us. You know, the Indian Ocean thought this is probably improper. You know, they're going to do some bad things on that URL website. So they said no to us trying to buy it. So we had a lot of fun in the company. We were like, this is such a cool line and everything. And then a few hours later, he had another call scheduled with the co-founder of that guy. So they jump on another call, and he does a demo with them, right? So he does the demo. He answers a bunch more questions. And at the end of the call, he goes, I see you still haven't started the trial. Let's start the trial, guys. Let's get going. I really want to champion you. I really want to have you start making calls, closing deals. Let's do this. And they're like, yeah, all right. We'll sign up within the next hour, and then if we have questions, we'll get back to you. Cool. He hangs up. 9 p.m., we go for dinner. We come back to the office. 9 p.m., we're chit-chatting, and he goes, oh, let me check if they sign up for a trial. And he checks, and he's like, motherfucker, they still haven't signed up for the trial. I'm like, yeah, you know, this is how people are, blah, blah, blah. I'm the aggressive salesperson. The guy's like, I'm calling them. And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to say anything about this. If you want to call them, call them. So he calls them, and he's like, dude, I just came back from dinner with Steli, the founder of the business. I tell him all about you guys, and there's no trial. Why haven't you signed up for a trial yet? And the guy goes, well, you know, we had these questions about this integration, how to get all our data migrated into it, and we really didn't want to use up a day of our 14 days free trial, so we really wanted to wait till we have everything figured out. And Flavio goes, you can't stop fucking around, can you? You just can't, right? And the guy starts laughing and goes, okay, I'll sign up for a trial. And Flavio's like, fuck yeah, you are right now, let's do it. And the guy goes, all right, I'm signing up for a trial. Did you see? Yep, I see your trial. All right, awesome. So let's get your data in. And then Flavio does, so all this is like just being like, you know, whatever, being aggressive, being flamboyant, being like a hustler and all that. Now, he does everything that a normal salesperson wouldn't do to make them successful. He doesn't just go, oh, trial, my job is done. He goes, all right, trial, let's hit your data into this. The guy does a data import, gets an error message. Screen share. You know, Flavio debugs the shit, gets the CVS file, makes the columns be correct. 35 minutes, 10 p.m. at this point, 45 minutes, gets all their data in, right? Now that he gets their data in, he goes, all right, buddy, let's check. The guy clicks on a random lead, and one thing we do really well is we integrate email communication automatically. So when you put in a lead in Close.io, a few seconds later, you see all the historic email threads you had with him in our product already, and we can give you data and analytics on that. So the guy looks at the lead and then sees the email threads pop up, and he goes, wow, this is awesome. Flavio's like, do you think that's awesome? Let's do something else. Let's go to the lead page in Close.io, and now I want you to type this into the search bar. Show me all leads where the last thing that happened is they got an email from us. They didn't reply. It's been longer than 2 weeks ago. And the guy selects all these options. And from the 500 leads they get, it goes down to 43 leads. And Flavio's like, do you know what this means? And the guy goes, I need to fucking get in touch with these 43 companies. Flavio's like, right? Are you ready to buy right now? He's like, yeah, fucking let's do it. Where can I put my credit card in? All this magic, and literally, I was sitting there, I was just like, wow, this is awesome. 1 day close turnaround. You know, they didn't even get to really trial anything. That's the magic when you stop fucking around, right? Sales at the end of the day is you being the most decisive person in the room. Once you're really, truly convinced that you can help them, it's your responsibility, it's your duty, it should be your religion to make them successful with your product. All right, if you want a hustle internship or look to join a kick-ass SaaS team, we're just 6 people, we're tiny, we're profitable, we're growing insanely, we're kicking ass. Nearest competitor is 150 people, and we're kicking their ass every fucking day. So let us know, and if you want me to be part of your extended sales family, just shoot me an email to steli@close.io. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is William. I'm with Green Ratio. First of all, thank you for your advice about 10 minutes ago. We had a potential trial customer that I just said, okay, well, I'll give them another 2 weeks to wait for sign up. While you're talking, I sent them an email, and about 2 minutes later, they signed up. So thank you.
And this is why this conference is awesome. Like, you're awesome. Send me an email about this.
I feel like I want to go make a cold call or something. I'm all pumped up.
Hi, Steli. Thanks for your talk and the motivation. I think everybody here needs to follow up more, and I'm the most guilty of this. I've got 6-month-old leads that I haven't touched. But anyway, that confession aside, your title is, your presentation is titled Solo SaaS Sales Machine. How does this change for non-SaaS products when you don't have trials, when you just have software, when you have volume licensing customers that you're nagging to buy your stuff? You're dealing with enterprise, you're dealing with budgets, and you know how it is. How does this change?
Philosophically, it's the same thing. There's some different tactics. There's different things you need to anticipate. You need to have a different customer lifetime value. You need to have a different approach and patience in how much time it takes to get something done. But at the end of the day, you're always selling to human beings. You're always selling to people. There's no IBM that can buy software. There's only fucking people working for IBM. So once you understand that, once you made that mental shift, you realize the complexity that comes with enterprise sales is that you're not just convincing one person and need to understand their needs and their problems. You need to understand 20 people's problems and needs, and they're all conflicting. And they all not are perfectly aligned with the overall needs of the business. So there's a lot of tactical differences, but in approach and philosophy, it's very similar stuff. With enterprise sales, you have to follow up very religiously. You have to manage the entire process all the way to the pilot and after the pilot and everything. You need to tell them what to do at every single step. When it comes to negotiation, you need to know what your price is and what the value is that you provide. A lot of these things are universal, but tactically, maybe there are some differences.
Thank you very much.
Hey, I just wanted to echo you on persistence. I had a $20,000 deal close, 6 months, emailed them every 2 weeks, finally closed, and you're right on the money. Follow up, you get it done. Don't be afraid to follow up. Here's a question. Do you map out your follow-up emails like, hey, here's email 1, 2, 3, 4, or do you just fly?
It depends. It depends. So when it's automated, you map it out. So for people that sign up for our trials, there's certain follow-ups that we do, and they're all automated and mapped out. Personally, if And this, if there's a big deal and I want to close the deal, I don't map it out. I just do it. I make sure that I have a system in place that reminds me that a week or two have passed and nothing has happened, so I keep doing things. And there's all kinds of cool. There's on our blog. If you go to blog.close.io, there's a shit ton of information. Also on follow-up, you can go put some funny in your follow-up. I learned like using really funny GIFs, like a Cookie Monster that's waiting, right? After you have like 4 or 5 emails, you don't get anything back. Just send them a waiting Cookie Monster that goes. Now people will respond, they will laugh, right? There's all kinds of cool little things you can do. But yeah, I don't map it out. Whenever I do it personally, I just do it by gut.
Who else? All right, we'll go him first.
You mentioned making your customers part of your extended sales team.
Yeah.
And making them feel part of that sales team. Do you ever offer them any sort of reward or affiliate type relationship?
No. So I personally don't pay for referrals. Now, that's different if you're an end consumer app like Dropbox or a bunch of other apps. You can do some like affiliate referral magical things. But in B2B, when I'm talking to somebody that's the CEO of a business, I'm not going to offer them some small shitty thing or a little bit of money. It's going to devalue the referral. Now, sometimes people ask me and they say, hey, if I bring you this customer, will I get something? And I'll tell them, once I got the customer, yeah, well, we can figure something out. But usually I don't offer something proactive. I would never offer something proactively. The value proposition here is you're getting value, you're successful. Who else do you know you like that should also know this exists? And that's you providing information and giving somebody something of value, not being selfish. I find that that's going to make less people excited about it.
Hey, Steli, good stuff. I'm curious what your thoughts are on methodology for hiring salespeople. I've rejected salespeople before just to see if they actually follow up.
Nice. Yeah, that's not bad. So methodology for sales. So this is actually interesting. I have a lot of content around sales hiring. And I was surprised how many people were asking me about sales hiring stuff because it didn't fit my solo sales machine theme of the presentation. But I have shit to give you. I have a lot of videos, a lot of presentations around that. But my basic philosophy on the hiring part is that you cannot ask a question to know if somebody's going to be good at sales. It's like saying, what is the question you're going to ask to know if somebody's a really amazing basketball player? Like somebody yesterday told me, how tall are you? So not bad, but that doesn't exist. The equivalent of that doesn't exist for sales. So the thing is, sales is a performance art. So you need to see the person perform. So you need to make them sell. So I would get that person. If somebody interviews with my company, that person has to do sales calls the first fucking day when they interview. They have to pitch our CTO. They have to pitch our intern. They have to pitch everybody and anybody. If they're not comfortable with that, then that's fine. Everybody's nervous, but I want to see how do they deal with that. Right? Do they have a little bit of a hustle? Do they like it? Or how do they overcome their nervousness? The other thing is, when it comes to salespeople, I've interviewed a lot of salespeople. Some people think I know a lot about sales, and I would never say, when I hire somebody the first day, I would never say I hired an amazing salesperson. Because I don't know. It takes me 3 months to know if somebody's really going to be good at sales. Because what makes the difference between somebody being okay at sales and being truly great is consistency. Right? Can they bring it every fucking day? That's the hard thing about sales. Every morning you show up, and it doesn't matter if you had a fight with your wife, your children hate you, or whatever. You have to bring it today. Doesn't matter if yesterday was a great day. You have to bring it again today. Doesn't matter if it was a bad day. Every day. It's hard. Most people don't want to or can't do this. The ones that do, you want to hold on and never, ever in your life let go of them. Right? These people are amazing.
Other questions? We have time for a couple more.
If you don't get a response to the breakup email, do you stop or keep going?
Honestly, I'm not sending the breakup email, so I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I just showed you HubSpot and Trunk Club are doing it. If you ask me for my opinion, not my experience, no. If I tell you something in an email, again, it's part of our relationship. If I say you'll never hear from me again, I usually will follow through. If I don't, I need to make it fun. Now that I think about it, I might follow through, but it depends. It better be something good. And then I would have to start with the email saying, all right, you got me, I was bluffing, right? This is all just a joke. If you haven't seen the email, don't read it, right? Now that we got that out of the way, let me tell you why I'm emailing you today. Or you need to address it. You can't just ignore the fact that you told me something and then you're acting completely differently. Maybe you send me an email and you say, listen, usually I would not break my promise. Here's why I decided to do it today. I told you I would never send you an email. I'm breaking the promise. I feel horrible about it. Let me tell you why I decided to do it anyways. Now you got my attention. I'm intrigued. All that good shit, but now you better have something interesting to say, right? So make sure you can deliver on that promise. But yeah, I don't have exact experience myself. I don't know. But the most companies that use the breakup email use it in an automated fashion for really high volume stuff where they can't have every single rep do follow-ups indefinitely with every single lead. Any more questions?
Yeah, right here, Steli. So just scenario. So 1,000 outbound emails with one of my salespeople, all customized. That converted into about 10 demos and 5 sales. Okay, so churning through outbound emails, outbound leads pretty quickly. And I'm wondering if I'm just doing it wrong. We should have started with just outbound calls first.
So you did 1,000 cold emails. Yourself, you said something, I didn't catch the second part.
So like that turned into about 10 demos.
About 10 what?
10 demos.
Okay, 1,000 emails, 10 demos. Is that just you? How many people did it take to send 1,000 emails?
Just one guy.
Just one guy, how long?
Using Closio, by the way.
Huh?
Using Closio.
Okay, so you did it in bulk or you did it a bunch?
It's about a week.
A week.
He's doing about 70 emails a day.
All right. So it took you a week to send 1,000 emails to people. You got 10 demos out of it and 6 closed.
Yeah, 5 closed so far, yeah.
What is a deal worth to you?
So about $3,000 a year, $297 a month.
So $3,000 a year. So this is like 15, 6. No, this is 15, 8. This is close to 20K worth of value to you. Am I doing the math right?
I think so, yeah.
4 weeks worth of work, not bad.
Yeah, so it's I guess
But
it's good.
You're concerned that you're running through 1,000
Yeah, I'm just
leads to
concerned
get to
that it was a great pop because obviously that's a high closing ratio for just 10 demos.
Yeah.
So I think we're reaching only the most, highly qualified or highly intent, people.
Here's what I would do if I were you. Those 6 that bought,
Yeah.
did you ask them, why did you open my email? Why did you respond to my email? How do you typically buy shit? Who else do you know that's similar to you that should know we exist? Did you really get more than just the sales, but you got a lot of insights about them?
Yeah, I mean, we do a great job of just like understanding, what their intent was, but we do not do a good job of saying like, what are your other buying habits?
Also, the 1,000 people, were they all exactly the same or were they within a range?
Yeah, there's a range. So we had some warm follow-up from a previous product that was much higher, like a $20,000, purchase price. And I did some, UTM parameters for all of that. So our open rate was like, astronomically higher on the warm follow-up versus the cold follow-up.
But did they turn into sales?
Say what?
Did they turn into a high percentage of the sales that resulted?
Yeah, the warm was much, much, much higher.
How many of the 6 were from the warm?
Actually, well, the warm turned into more demos, but it was actually 50-50.
0?
Yeah, no, 50-50, cold,
all right.
cold versus warm.
So here's what I would tell you, not to make this too long, we can chat later, but you need to separate what you did with the warm list from the really cold list.
Okay.
Everything you do in outbound, you really need to segment and separate and to look at the results in a fashion that's not convoluted and like a million different things happen at once. Yeah. And then because it took a lot of leads to get to these results, I think the results are good to begin with, right? When you do outbound stuff, it's high volume, it's just the name of the game. Now, if there's hundreds of millions of these type of leads, you might be in good shape. If there is 3,000 of them, you're in shit, right? You can't do this for more than another 2 weeks. So 10,000? All right, so now what you need to do is we need to segment since it's a small list overall, the complete list in humanity that you can reach is just like 5,000 or 10,000 people. You need to segment that list and write a lot more targeted emails to these people and do a lot more targeted things to get the maximum ROI.
Great. We have time for one more question over here.
All right. What do you think about switching tracks? So like when I follow up with people, I found to send them something physically, like when I can't get get them to respond. But are there other ways? And what do you think about sending, like mailing out and things like that?
Yeah, so there's a million creative things you can do. I think of these things as black belt in follow-up. So as long as you have mastered the basics in follow-up, which is just send fucking 30 follow-up emails, right? Don't worry about the magical things. You can do humor. You can do physical objects, gifts. You can send them articles. So that's so overused. I get all these people sending me articles I care not two shits about. And they're like, oh, I found this article that's really important for you. And you can tell they've done this at scale. This article, if they truly knew who I am, they would know I don't give a fuck about. So you need to be careful with these things, but you can try to be helpful, give a gift. There's creative things. We got a billionaire to invest a long time ago that for the 48 emails it took me to get that done, they were not creative at all. Here's what they were. Hey, another beautiful day in paradise. We released this new feature. When can we meet this Thursday or Friday at this or this time? Didn't hear anything. Next week. Hey, another beautiful day in paradise. Did you see this article about our company? When can we meet this Thursday? I have time from this to this time. Didn't get anything back. Hey, another beautiful day in paradise. Let me ask you, can you do this Friday? That's it. And then after 48 emails, his reply was, I'm so glad you followed up, Steli. I'm so sorry. There was a big thing overseas. I was traveling. Can you come tomorrow at 1 p.m.? I'm going to be in the office in San Francisco. So even in lack of creativity, you can get shit done. Don't be needy. Don't reference back to the original email. Oh, I sent you 3 emails. Why haven't you replied? Don't make me feel bad or guilty. You'll never get a reply from me, right? Just keep it clean, simple, friendly, and move on with life. In terms of all the ninja stuff, we can talk about that. I can send you some cool stuff. But I don't want people to start thinking, oh, this is my 3rd follow-up email. I better send them a fucking book, that I know they always wanted to read, but their mom didn't allow them at let me do some 3-month research to send them a gift. Just keep it simple. Just keep following up. If you just follow up at least 20 times with everyone, magic will happen in your life. That's it.
Thanks, Steli.
Thank you so much, guys.